right, next up on the list, we got my man, Frederick Demons in the building. What's up, man? How's it going?
Man, it's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. So tell us, how long has it been since you made your way into the field?
Been since June of 2019.
So you about 4 years and some change in?
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
do you do for your job? Like, what do you do now?
So I'm a data engineer for United Healthcare, and my job, we write HEDIS measures. So the doctors receive patients in the clinics, and they have to abide by certain HEDIS measures and criteria to make sure that they're seeing their patients, that they're treating them, and the healthier their patients are. I actually work for a subsidiary called WellMed, where WellMed pays the doctors more the healthier their patients are. So the majority of their patients are on Medicaid. So keeping them out of the ER and out of the hospital when the doctor actually gives the doctors an additional stipend. So I'm on the BI team, and we write all the measure logic for the various measures that they use in actually it's SSRS right now. They're looking to move it. But right now, a lot of the reports are funneled into SSRS. And my team, we create packages to move the data in from several sources, claims data, supplemental data, various data. And we also write the store procedures for the reporting, for the reports, because our environment is so complicated. Like, we couldn't simply just give it away to report it. So we do kind of everything in-house with BI. The reports, the reporting just makes the reports look nice. All of the logic is written by us.
Is this the same job you got out of Colaberry, or have you? So you still at the same job?
Yeah. So when I first got out, I was thinking about moving, but I had a little girl. I work for United Healthcare. My insurance is like the best insurance ever. So my team is ideal also. We have a ton of flexibility. My manager is cool. My leads are cool. My team is probably the best group of individuals I've ever worked with at any job. So there's too many things keeping me for me to just jump on the job market, you know?
Are you work from home or are you hybrid? I thought you were going to the office at first.
So I work from home, but I could go to the office whenever I want. So I was going to go to the office today, but I forgot I had an 8 o'clock doctor's appointment. So I just drove there and came here. But I've been working from home since COVID. But every now and again, I'll drive to the office because I get tired of working from home. As you can see, I done created like a little gym inside my office because I felt like I was getting fatter sitting at this desk all day. So sometimes I just want to get out of this room. So I just drive to the office. Actually, my car drives me to the office. I bought a Tesla, and I just put it on autopilot, and I just sit there until I get
to my exit. The whole thing? It does the whole thing?
So the autopilot I have will keep you in your lane and adjust you with traffic. So I have to get on the interstate, and I'm on the next interstate for about, I think it's 19 miles. So I just get in the fast lane and put autopilot on 80, and I just sit there. And unless someone jumps in front of me, I'm going whatever the speed limit I set it to is.
That's good living right there. That's good driving right there.
That's one of the reasons I bought the car. I got tired of paying for gas, and I knew that I would want to drive to the office. So I was like, let me just buy a Tesla, because I knew autopilot would drive me most of the way.
All right, let's rewind. What was life like before Colaberry? What did you do, and how did you hear about Colaberry?
So I was a salesman at an AT&T store in Flower Mound, Texas. And one of my customers I became close with, and she's a data architect. And she said, I was kind of burnt out of sales. I was looking for something different. And she said, you should look into this program. One of my colleagues did it. And if you're thinking about a career change, you should look into it. I didn't really look into it. I just got signed up like that night. I trusted her enough to know that if she believed in it, that was enough. I had all the edification I need as far as who she was as an individual. So I didn't know what data analytics was, none of that. I just got signed up, and I was like, okay.
You didn't even know what you was getting yourself
into. I had no idea. I had no idea.
So you get to Colaberry, you figure out it's going to be all this work that you didn't really think you was going to have to do. How did you handle that And what was it? What was your experience like going through the program?
So actually, I thought it was a lot of work because the second day of orientation, someone came in and they told me the income individuals was getting out of Colaberry. So I knew it was going to be more work than people thought. And people are coming out getting these six-figure job incomes and things like that. So when I got started, I stopped watching TV. I stopped on one of your videos, you said you need to devote like 4 hours a day to learning this stuff. So I stopped going to the gym. I stopped watching TV. I cut out all of the fat because I knew if I focused on this for 6 months to a year, I can change my life. So everything I cut out, I can get back once I do this career change. So if I wasn't at work, I was on a computer.
So you just took this thing full string. You knocked everything out. You was like, this is gonna be my focus for the next year.
Yeah, because at the time I think I was like 37 when I did it, and I hadn't studied any scholastic curriculum in over a decade, so I knew I needed to focus. So when I did it, I made sure I had no distractions whatsoever. If I wasn't at work, I was on a computer taking notes, watching videos, even your videos, like the pre-recorded videos, I would pause and take notes. So I got like masterful notes on the entire curriculum. So by the time we got to the homework section, I was able to just reference my notes and do the homework. I never had to go back and look at the curriculum or any of the pre-recorders or anything like that. As a matter of fact, every class was reviewed for me because you also said stay 2 sections ahead. So I stayed ahead the entire class. As a matter of fact, I think I finished it 3 or 4 sections ahead. So every time we got to class, I would just ask review questions because I had completed that section a couple weeks ago.
So how long did it take you to make it all the way through and get placed?
So I started in January of 18. I finished around the end of the year. I was still working as a salesman full time. My manager was able to give me some leeway because one of your classes was on Saturday morning in Irving, back when I had the Irving office, and I usually worked on Saturdays. So she was able to work with my schedule there. But it took me about a year, and then once that year came up, this is when we were still getting the Microsoft certification. I don't have a college degree, so that certification was imperative for my resume, at least I thought. So I got the Microsoft certification. Right after that, I jumped on a job market. Alex was my mentor. He was like, you ready? Because every time he has, the weekly mentor calls, he's asking interview questions. He's like, you ready, Fred? Jump on the market.
Tell us, how has your life changed since you made your way into this field?
I've almost I've about tripled my income. That opens up a lot. I also have the work-life flexibility. So that's really why I got this. I was burnt out of sales. I wanted my weekends back. I just wanted like a 9 to 5. I didn't know the jump in income was available until I got into that second orientation when he was talking about the different job roles you can go into, reporting, SSIS. I asked him, which one pays the most? And he was like, ETL developer. I was like, okay, that's where I'm gonna focus. And there's some ETL to my job, but my job is really SQL heavy. I'm dealing with store procedures all day. I don't have the financial worries and stresses that I had previously. Like, that's not there,
Is your Tesla your biggest purchase?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm in a 4-bedroom home here, but I move a lot. So I moved a lot growing up. Like, I'm gonna move next year. I just want something different. I'm never in one place long. So since I've been in San Antonio, I've moved 3 times. I've been here 4 years. I've already moved 3 times.
Why you spend so much time moving?
I don't know, man. I get tired of being in one place and I just want to go somewhere else. So I'm probably rent a house somewhere else. But I do a lot.
You do any traveling?
So I do traveling, but it's usually to places that I have friends and good food. So I'll travel to I used to live in Louisiana for almost a decade. Louisiana, I think, has the best food in the nation. So I travel back there a lot. Sometimes I have a lot of friends still up in Dallas, so I'll come up there and see them. And a lot of the food I miss I'm from Chicago. A lot of the food I miss from Chicago is actually available in Dallas. So I can kind of get the best of both worlds when I go up there.
So what is the biggest piece of advice you would give everyone out there?
The biggest piece of advice I can give you about Colaberry is stay the course. It's building resilience. Colaberry is not going to give you the answers, but when you get on a job, you're going to have to be resilient. You're not going to know everything. Even if by any inkling, Colaberry could teach you all of SQL, you wouldn't retain it. 1, 2, it would change the next year, depending on which MMS you have. The code would change. So your biggest nugget is to be resilient. I Google every day. Now, I've been a senior, so I'm a data engineer, but it's also titled senior data warehouse developer. So I'm on Google every day looking up something. Sometimes I'm looking, like right now, I'm creating a HEDIS measure. It's about 2,000 lines of code in this one store procedure, but we're using chain linking and a bunch of various different things to connect the data downstream. So I'm always having to be resilient. Like, Colaberry is not going to teach you everything. Colaberry is teaching you how to find everything. So you're going to look online a lot. You're going to look at your notes a lot. You're going to look at existing SQL, because a lot of times, a lot of the answers you all need is in the existing store procedure that's already in your environment. So you may just have to go somewhere else already in SSMS to find the workflow as far as how you need to get particular goal accomplished. A lot of the job is copy and paste. Once you all get in the field, there's going to be small modifications, but even if you're making a new line of code, the majority of it could usually be copied from something that's existent. But Colaberry is teaching you resilience. And that's what I got first. It was easy for me to get. I remember being on these calls, especially the Saturday calls, where people would complain about the curriculum and how challenging it was and how it was giving the wrong answer. But this is exactly what's going to happen when you get out into the field. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be bugs in code that was written before you touched it. There's going to be bugs in code that's written after you touch it. At the end of the day, you have to be resilient and be able to go out there and find the resolution and the answer to resolve whatever problem you're trying to solve.